I wanted to address black men. Pause real quick. I wanted to address that. I wanted to address that part. What he said, and I have a harsh. It's gonna be this is gonna be like a pro black / anti pro black show if this makes sense. But I have to say this. I have to say this because I have to look at this objectively.
Targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
So he mentions the part about Tony Buzbee targeting black men, right? Here's the thing. So I had heard Chronic. He said, damn, Shannon Sharpe using the black card. And I'll say this, the more that I thought about it, I was like, you know what? He's right. And I have to start being frank with my ninjas real quick. And please bear with me real quick, because I have to address my ninjas here. Guys, these lawyers like Tony Buzbee, they're not targeting you because you're black. Right? It's you're an easy target. It's not because you're black that you're an easy target. You guys are just easy targets. If that, I don't know if I'm saying it right. You guys are easy targets, right? Meaning lawyers are looking to seek, kill, and destroy, devour something. They need their pound of flesh. They're in student loan debt themselves. They're trying to get as much money as they possibly can. So, and stay alive, right? This is very important, right? So there's certain people that lawyers won't even take the case from, right? There's certain cases that if you go to a certain lawyer's office or whatever, attorney's practice, whatever, and you say, hey, I need help. I need to drop a suit against this company or this person, this entity. Do you know there's certain cases that even with the potential amount of money that they can make, they won't even take the case because they don't want to end up missing, right? So this is why you'll have like a special case of lawyers that will target a Google or a Amazon if they're doing something foul, but they're like a team of like lawyers that kind of protect each other. They're trying to be like good people. They're trying to protect, the normies of society. Most lawyers are not going to just take a case where, okay, Elon Musk did something, or one of these very powerful like people, like let's say what's these people's name? The Rothschilds, right? The Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. They're not going to take a case where you're targeting certain people because they don't want to end up missing, right? So there's no consequences that black men really put on these lawyers that target them, right? Now, I'm not saying the lawyers have to go missing, but there needs to be repercussions for lawyers like a Tony Buzbee targeting black men. Now, people might take it as, oh, what are you trying to say, Chris? You're trying to promote violence? I'm just saying they're playing dirty on you. At what point as a man, or if you're a black man, right? At what point do you say, it's time for me to protect myself by any means necessary, like Malcolm X says? When, as a man, do you be like, you stop complaining about people taking advantage of you and you fight back? Instead of just saying, they're just targeting black men. Well, maybe you need to start protecting yourself a little bit better. Maybe you might need to start fighting back fire with fire. And I'll give you a simple, I don't know, because people are just going to take this like, oh, what are you trying to say? The lawyers got to go missing, their planes got to go down. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's ways where you can make it cost effective, or you can make it where you can make lawyers feel uncomfortable by taking your case. And 2020 should have really given black people the blueprint of what you should have been doing. So remember in 2020 where, everybody was on their social justice, shtick, and it would be like 3 or 4 star recruits saying, look, I ain't going to a school if it has a Confederate flag. And you had all these schools taking down their Confederate flags, right? Now, I know that's something little, but I'm like, Black men, shouldn't that show you something? You can make it where lawyers will not take your case. How about this here? Watch this. Imagine this. Let me give you an example. Let me give you a hypothetical. You have let me okay. What school did Tony Buzbee go to? See, what school? College. Let me see. Oh, so Tony Buzbee went to, I think it looks like from here, he went to the Texas A&M University and University of Houston, right? So let me show you this. He went to Texas A&M, University of Houston. What if ninjas, or particularly these athletes that hold a lot of leverage, was like, oh, Tony Buzbee went to that college? None of us is going to that college. I don't care how much, especially now that colleges could give you money. You don't have to go to some of these colleges that are not offering you anything. You could just be like, oh, isn't he an alumni of this college? You know what? We ain't finna go there. Now, maybe, obviously, it might seem elementary to, because I'm talking to the ninjas right now. This might seem elementary to white people. I get it. Trust me, I understand. This is elementary to Caucasian people, but I'm addressing the ninjas right here. But imagine if ninjas was like, you know what, we ain't finna go to that school. Ain't Tony Buzbee an alumni there? All the ninjas from there, we going somewhere else. You see how, like, with the NIL deals, where basically now these colleges are at these athletes' mercy for the most part, right? Imagine you have these top recruits. They say, hey, we're going to go to these colleges, to certain colleges. And an athlete were to come on the podium, oh, yeah, I'm not going to Texas A&M because Tony Buzbee's an alumni there. Now, it might not do anything at that moment, but maybe in the future, you'll have a broad trying to go to one of these famous lawyers' office, and then they'll show you the black athlete that they're trying to target, and then they start thinking about their college, and they're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't take this case. Because I'm just saying, lawyers don't take every single case. Now, this is an elementary idea, but now let's take it to a bigger level. Say if in La La Land, somebody gets accused, it's clearly fake, and then they countersue the institution that they come from or the company that they work for, and it ends up bankrupting the company. You find some kind of technicality. Now you create a dilemma. For now, you set the precedent for now where lawyers are like, damn, I got this bitch that came out and said, oh, this dude did this to me. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Let me give you another example. There's a reason why I'm never going to have to worry about LeBron James getting pulled over by the police and getting shot by the police, even though he's black, right? Or anybody from the Lakers, any Negro basketball player coming from the Lakers. I don't have to worry about police getting to him or even them getting pulled over. You know why? Because if any harm happens to any of those black basketball players for the Lakers, you're not going to get in trouble with LeBron James. You're going to get in trouble with the Bus family. Those are their investments. Black men, what do you have as leverage to keep people from fucking with you? This is how America works. So this whole thing about, oh man, they just targeting black men, you have nothing to leverage. Well, in your mind, you don't have nothing to leverage. What can you leverage to keep people in check? What do you have as leverage to keep people in check? Now, we already know certain groups in this country, they leverage other things. They leverage people's lives. They leverage people's families. They leverage people through their mob connections. What do you have? What do you have as leverage to keep lawyers at bay? What do you have? There's a certain reason why you'll have certain basketball players, certain athletes, they will join certain franchises because they have that protection. So this is where black men have to get to that next level of, they just, in shorthand, black men have to stop playing nice, and they got to stop playing man, they're just targeting all of our black men, because you heard it from Soulja Boy. They targeted all of our black rich niggas. You have to question, why are they targeting you? It's not because you're black per se. It's because there's no repercussions. You really think all these there's a lot of small hat people that be doing dirt, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of the bluish people, I call them. There's a lot of bluish people. Like, you think people like bluish people? Like, they don't like them either, but they know they can't fuck with them. Why? Because they be running the court. They don't want to be in court. They don't want to be in court with those people. So people have to leave them alone because that's their leverage. The entertainment game, the industry game, and particularly the lawyer game. They run that. So it doesn't matter how much you hate bluish people or how much you think they're evil. You ain't finna fuck with them. Try fuck with them and see what happens. see what happens. Try. So this whole thing about they're targeting black men, it's not because you're black that they're targeting. They just know there's no real repercussions. What do you have as leverage to keep people where they got to play you fair? They have to play you fair, even if they hate you, even if they hate everything about you, the most racist, whatever. What do you have as leverage to keep them from playing dirty on you? Because they're playing dirty on you and getting away with it because there's no repercussions to it. You're not going to do anything about it. So that part I did. That's the part I wanted to address. So sorry for going on that kind of a tirade. I might clip it, but that was very important for me to say, particularly for black men here. Now, I'll say this: there are black men with power in this country where they can't get touched because if you try to put a bogus case on them, you might go missing, right? And people there have been people on my channel to be like, I remember I even said something like, I said something that I said LeBron James is smart for paying people in the media to make sure that his name doesn't get trashed. Or you'll have certain black athletes, they will pay certain people in the media, or their agents will pay people in the media to make sure their name doesn't get disparaged, right? And I remember I had somebody in the chat was like, what's the integrity behind that? I'm like, bro, unless if you want to end up like Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook or Terrell Owens, do I need to keep naming the list of these athletes? Unless you want to end up like these people where they have all types of nonsense attached to their names because they don't pay people off in the media. Unless if you're willing to go through that, I mean, fine. You want to go ahead raw dog it with no protection. All right. Don't be surprised if you get caught up. It's a dirty game. This is the entertainment game. It's a dirty game. People are asking people to be like, loyal and righteous and holy in a dirty game, looking for a clean fish in a dirty bowl. And then at least I will be here and I will acknowledge if somebody's being done dirty, whether it be a white dude, black dude, Indian dude, I will acknowledge it. But most of the normies, they want people to act righteous and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then the actual righteous people, the people that are being done dirty, they can never see it. They can never see it. But I'm the bad guy for saying, look, you know what? I understand why people like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they make sure they pay off people in the media so their name doesn't get disparaged. Or if you'll have certain people that are taking steroids. I'm not saying no names, but they make sure those rumors are kept in check and they make sure they pay off certain people in the media so certain stuff like that doesn't leak. I think that's smart. But this is how the game works. This is how the industry works. So there's a lot of black men that are still trying, to hang on to the, the morality card. And I don't think they understand. This is a dirty game. It's a dirty game. So you complaining about Tony Buzbee targeting black men, that shit ain't gonna do nothing. It's just gonna make people laugh at y'all. That's all I have to say about that.